from our home, raped and enslaved. Today, we the people, we the working class revolutionaries build the casket for the old society. America is not satiated with the blood and bones of indigenous and black peoples. It is not satiated with the blood it continues to spill from the black and colonized working people living in its belly. It stretches like an awful monster, extends its imperialist claws and ravages any peoples that stand in its way, forcing killer sanctions on any country that recognizes America's evil core, that exploits land for resource and profit. In this last decade alone, America has bombed 9 countries. Under Obama's administration, the American military bombed the peoples of Sudan, Somalia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Syria, Yemen, Lebanon. No president of the United States has ever or will ever work in the interest of the people. Black and colonized people were murdered then just as we are being murdered now. U.S. imperialism lives at the expense of black and colonized working people. Materially, we all feel it. You working class child, you working class young person, you know it in your heart that there is something terribly wrong with the way that we live under this country. We can feel it in the way that this country brutalizes and exploits our people, ravaging our communities, killing us. We are sick of being fed crumbs. The way that we build revolution is by resisting and combating in the enemy's pillage. OSREV will be holding an anti-ICE action July 8th at 6 p.m. at Cortez Circle in California. White power. We must organize, we must revolt. When we organize and build the self-determination of the working class people, we will no longer have to rely on the same fucked up system that wants us dead. We will create our own systems of action. We will train and arm ourselves. We will protect ourselves. We will fight against American imperialism. We have nothing, we will have all. Black power.
Hi guys, I am Black Lives Matter protest of Ventura County. And I just want to say first off, I am so proud of all of you for walking away from those people. They don't deserve our attention. And I am so proud of every single one of you here today that has made the effort and not listened to them and just walked away. So, when I do the speech, the one thing I ask of you is when I say no justice, you say
no peace.
Amen. Okay, let's go. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity. We the people. The people? Liberty and justice for all? All men are created equal? From what I've learned, that doesn't stand for all people. Right now, our country is in a political divide, left and right. Take down the rich. We want pro-life. Liberal trash. Old men shout on the streets as they pass, because in their minds, this is a matter of opinions and politics, not lives. But I don't reply, holding my side, unbothered by their attempts to rile up some liberal trash. I am just a kid, having to act like the adult. But just because I don't reply doesn't mean I will stay silent. No justice?
No peace!
The crowd may cease to speak, but we will never stay silent. Because people of color and ethnicity are the people too, and they need to be heard.
Yeah.
This is how it's supposed to be done. Raise our arms, refrain from guns, roses. We are roses. Pronouns for the sprouting in color from the deep stoked blood in the soil. A bullet may past our stems, but I promise you, we will bud again. We will not stay silent.
Yeah.
You hear the sirens in the streets. So many souls on their knees pleading, praying for their life. Their defense is made to seem like a strife, like a crime. A dirty person who deserved to die, some will say. But then they call themselves Christians the very next day. Whoever loves their brother abides in the light, and in them there is no cause for stumbling. Whoever hates their brother is in the darkness and does not know where they are going, because the darkness has blinded their eyes. Blinded, not being able to see, stumbling, calling out what they can feel, but they cannot see the colors in us roses. They just feel something, growing, sprouting, and since it is not of what they know, they throw stones and pretend the blood that they can feel, our reason to grow, doesn't exist. Ignorance is bliss. They ignore the problem, so it's not there. But ignorance does not make it go away. And staying silent doesn't make it disappear. Still, they turn their backs as the blood is poured and we grow together. We are a big, beautiful, colorful storm. We are all the colors that ever exist. We are all different, but we all sprout for the same reasons. I am not the same color as the roses from where the blood was poured. The heavy liquid causing the roses to hurt and choke and scream for air. I cannot breathe. Officer, I cannot breathe. I am not the same color as some roses, but it doesn't matter, for we are all roses. And we are all in the same garden, and we all grow together. Our branches keep each other up. One big support system, one big knot. And if another dares to try and snatch you up, I will show them my thorns. Although they may curse me and tell me I'm weak and point and yell at me that I am sickly and spiked, I'll stay here with you, proud and strong. Heads held high, mouths open wide for the roses that fell into the soil and died because I know you, fellow rose. Get pointed at and called names far too much. The dead cannot speak, so we scream for the dead. I often question if what I'm doing is okay and all right. I often have trouble sleeping at night. Then I remember the dead roses. Drowned in our tears. We may not be the same. We may not think the same. We may not have the same opinions. But I know we are all more than just flowers. We are roses.
No racist! Police! No racist! Police! No racist! Police!
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Genevieve. I'm with Diversity Collective Ventura County. We are an LGBTQ organization here in Ventura County. Before I begin, I want to just acknowledge that here on the 4th of July, when we're supposed to be celebrating freedom, we do so on stolen Chumash land. And I want to remind every one of you that no matter where you go on this continent, you're on stolen indigenous people's lands. So on behalf of Diversity Collective, I'm here to talk about Black trans lives. Black trans lives matter. Black trans lives birthed LGBTQ liberation at the Stonewall riots in 1968. And Black trans lives are the first to show up for all of us. I want to point you out to this sign. I made this sign on June 7th for a protest at the government center. And when I first made the sign, it only had 3 names: Monica Diamond, Nina Pop, Tony McDade. The month of June for LGBTQ community members is our month of pride, when we're supposed to be proud to celebrate those Stonewall riots, when our LGBTQ Black and brown trans sisters stood up against police brutality. And in this last month of pride, the last 30 days, we've lost 6 Black trans women. And then our trans sisters pass away. Often they are misgendered. They are misnamed when we talk about their deaths. So what I would like to do is read these names and have you say it back to me so we can remember them as who they were and how they lived and how they wanted to be called. The first person, the first trans sister, Rhea Melton. Second trans sister, Dominique Remy Fells. The third trans sister, Titi Gully. She supposedly hung herself. We knew better. Ryla Stone. Mercy Mack. Tatiana Hall. It's important that we say their names because, again, their families sometimes did not accept them and therefore maybe put the wrong name in their obituary. The news reports use the wrong pronouns when referring to them. So this is important, and this is why we say their names today. We cannot have queer liberation without solidarity with Black Lives Matter. They go hand in hand. We are fighting the same oppressions. We are fighting the same white supremacy, homophobia, transphobia. If one of us is not free, none of us are free. So on behalf of the Rescue Collective in Cherokee County, I invite you to stay connected with us. We provide cultural competency trainings, so maybe you don't know what pronouns are, maybe you don't know what trans is, but let's learn together. This is the time to do it so that we can build more solidarity together. And all of y'all are beautiful, and thank you for sharing and saying the names of our fallen trans sisters. We know that trans women of color face the most violence, bodily harm, at risk to not have housing. We need to do better for all of them. Thank you so much.
Guys, my name is Jalen. Can you guys hear me? Yeah! So the one thing that I learned today in this protest, just right now, while we had the last speaker, we saw the cops and we got distracted. We got distracted from our own community and the voice that we need to uplift. We got distracted by the oppressors. And we were focused on them instead of focusing on our community and the people whose voices need to be heard. We got distracted by the other voices up the hill. They actually held us back. And what did we do? We kept marching and we kept growing while they're what? Stuck there still with that damn statue. We're gonna keep growing. But the fight cannot stop here in the streets with these protests and these marches. We have to continue fighting in the city council, with Congress. We need to start voting these people out of offices. Do you guys know how much the OPD makes, Oxnard Police Department?
Too much!
First of all, I'm going to tell you how much the city of Oxnard makes. How much? $140.3 million. Do you know how much of the police department gets?
How much?
62.8 million of that. Do you guys know how much the education system makes?
Not enough!
About like 20 million out of that. Do you guys see something wrong with this picture?
Yeah!
Do you guys know why the cops make so much money? Because we don't fucking show up for our city. We need to start showing up. The fight does not stop here. It has to continue in the city council. It has to start. We are using our privilege to march and to protest, but we need to start exercising our right to vote and to actually make change. And they have the nerve to lay off teachers, somebody just posted it. No, we need an education system for our youth, for our kids. That statue back there and those people standing with it, that's history. We are the future. We're making a casket for the old society, so let's build something new, but we cannot get distracted by the oppressors. We cannot get distracted by the voices. What we need to do is focus on each other's voice, and the only way that we're going to make a change is if we all come together, work together, and get into these institutions. Get into these city council meetings, because they don't like that shit. I know, they don't like that. And it might be boring, but you know what? That's where we come in, and we gotta spice shit up. You know what I'm saying? Let's go in our sweatpants and our Air Force Ones, because we are the new generation. We have to create a new narrative. We need to stop focusing on the old. And we need to focus on building what we see for each other. I understand that there is no justice until we get peace, but we also have to continue building peace even when there is no justice. So if you guys can, please, if you guys have your phones out, if you guys can please follow at Viva Oxnard. If you guys don't follow at Viva Oxnard already, if you guys can please follow Dark Matter Collective .dmc on Instagram, and you guys can also follow 805J Lynn, and that's JLYNN, to keep you guys updated about what's going on in the city, because we need this same energy in the offices, in the city council meetings. We need to shake them up, get them out, and put us in there. You guys have the power. And I'm trying to show you guys how powerful you guys are to step into these positions and wipe these people out. This is our world. When are you guys going to step up into it? Now! So with that being said, we're going to just give a moment of silence to everybody that lost their lives to either police brutality, sexual assault victims, the kids in the cages. And to all lives. I just heard a little face that was beautiful. Thank you, you guys.
Having some we're gonna be having some petitions that you guys can sign to help change the community. We're also gonna be having meetings, beach cleanups, park cleanups. We're also gonna be having, later on, we're gonna be organizing events for the city. Working on changing things in the city as well too. So just be in contact with that page. You'll be updated on the most recent stuff that we got going on.
Thank you guys so much for coming out. If you guys look around, it is a beautiful turnout. See, this is the only 4th of July I care about. Is this and so I love you guys. I love all of you guys. We are all brothers and sisters. We are all family. Let's go ahead and end this march nice and strong. Back to the park.